The game that we call the Fast and the Furious.
Recently on this channel, I put together a list of my 10 favorite GSN originals of all time. I'm not saying these were the 10 best, but I stand by the quality of every show I included. Yes, even Family Trade. But today I want to take a look at the opposite end of the spectrum. With thanks to those that left their suggestions in the comments, I'm sorry if I leave one of yours off, but there are only 10 spots, and let's be honest, the network has produced a lot more than just 10 flops over the years. And again, just a couple of disclaimers out there. I'll remind you that I was born in 1999, so there's 4.5 years worth of a network that simply was before my time. As Sean Chandler always says, my list isn't the right list, it's just my list. That being said, disclaimer number 2 is this. Some of the surface level research I had to do for this simple video was honestly astonishing. I may circle back to this one day and talk about a few of these shows in greater detail, but a top 10 video really only allows for a couple of paragraphs for each entry on the list, so if you're looking for a deeper dive into any of these, those will have to wait for their own videos. With that, let's jump into it. Number 10, Skim Wars. I debated including this one because by several metrics, this was a pretty successful show for the network. The ratings were among the best of any GSN reality competition effort. It featured high-profile celebrities like RuPaul, it ended up getting a 3-season run. It's even gotten a second life on Netflix. If you have the premium plan, apparently. My biggest problem with this show is, much like Family Trade, the fact that it took up airtime on the Game Show Network. Unlike Family Trade, however, at least the network promoted Skim Wars efficiently, and as a result, the show attracted a wide out-of-network audience. I mean, come on, do you really think the network's strongest demographic of women 55 and older were rushing to their televisions to watch a body painting competition? I vividly remember my grandmother's reaction when 14-year-old me told her this was in development. Let's just say she wasn't impressed. I will admit, I have watched the first season, and for what it is, it's not exactly terrible, which is why it's only number 10 on this list.
We just were making fun of it left and right with Alabama Man and all other kinds of jokes. It was like Mystery Science Theater 3000.
But when you consider the network it was on, it undeniably wasn't a good fit.
Skin Wars is yet another example of why GSN should not jump into the reality show business.
Plus, the fact that the show's catchphrase referred to their models as nothing more than canvases kind of gives me the ick too.
Good luck.
Please go wash off your canvas.
Thank you.
Number 9, Divided. Hosted by Mike Richards, yes, that Mike Richards, Divided featured 4 contestants eventually narrowed down to 3 who had to work together to agree on the answers to multiple choice questions. The longer it took them to build a consensus, the less money they'd be awarded for each question. At the end of the show, the 3 remaining contestants would have to agree on who received what share of the total prize money earned throughout the game. Contestant A would walk away with 60%, Contestant B 30%, and Contestant C 10%. Once again, the more time they spent deliberating, the more money they'd be leaving on the table. And should the clock run out, everyone leaves empty-handed. Basically, it's a glorified game show version of a prisoner's dilemma. Either you work together for mutual benefit, or risk screwing everyone for individual gain. Once again, Kofi has a video on this show if you want a more in-depth look at it, but between the uncomfortable and tense interactions between the contestants and the controversies we now know about Richards, not to mention the fact that GSM premiered the show the day before the 2017 inauguration, this one certainly left game show fans feeling, well, divided.
Oh, go to hell. Go to hell. Bye.
Number 8, Caroline and Friends. This one was basically a discount version of America's Funniest Home Videos. Hosted by Caroline Ray, she and a couple of her celebrity friends react to funny videos and then decide along with the audience which one is the best. The family that submitted the winning video is awarded a prize. I'm keeping this one lower on the list because, like several other GSN shows from years prior, it's not the show itself that was terrible. I mean, if you're going to take heavy inspiration from a show, you could do a lot worse than AFV. But it did feel out of place on a network that's supposed to be dedicated to the game show genre. Number 7, Love Triangle. Hosted by Wendy Williams, Love Triangle was a dating game show that was exactly what its name implied. It involved 3 contestants, 1 individual and the 2 partners with whom they were in separate but concurrent relationships. The premise of the show is to go through a series of compatibility tests before the dater must decide, in the show's words,
Who to choose and who to lose.
As far as I can tell, very little of the show has surfaced online since it originally aired, and that's probably a good thing. Love triangles are messy enough as it is, and considering there are plenty of other formats available for the idea of a dating game show, I'm not sure this was ever a great idea. Not unlike number 6, It Takes a Church. Look, I think church is great for worship services. As the set of a dating game show, this is also one that probably didn't need to get picked up, much less renewed for a second season. Hosted by Natalie Grant, sponsored by Christian Mingle, and created on the heels of the success of the American Bible Challenge, It Takes a Church was a traveling game show that visited churches around the country and attempted to play matchmaker with single members of their congregations. The church's pastor or minister helps lead a single member along with 4 potential suitors through a series of dates to determine a winner. The matchmaker who originally suggested the winning suitor has a $10,000 donation made to the church in their name. So at least something positive came out of this for all the churches that signed on to this show. Critics argued that the whole thing felt contrived, however, and Neil Genslinger even called into question the state of America's spiritual health after watching it. That hasn't stopped it, though, from being available to stream on a number of different platforms. Even though Family Trade is nowhere to be found, dang it. Number 5. Vegas Weddings Unveiled. Again, like church, weddings are great, but just because something's great doesn't mean it needs to be turned into a game show. Much less a hidden camera game show where you give an engaged couple a compatibility test and tell them that if they fail, you're going to cancel their wedding.
We're going to hold your marriage certificate and your deposit for 30 days, and you'll have 30 days to get more acquainted with each other.
Are you really, honestly and truly serious?
Have you ever been on a hidden camera TV show before?
You got people. Oh my God.
Because you're on one right now.
Are you serious?
Well, you got that wrong because you're on one now.
Oh my God.
These couples react a lot better than I would when they're told what's really going on. Not to mention, it's not even really a game show. It's just a hidden camera prank show. I mean, I guess there are improv actors, and maybe improv could be considered a game, but if you want improv from GSN, you're much better checking out Drew Carey's ImprovAGanza. Even though that one arguably isn't a game show either. Wait, Britney Spears' 48-hour wedding was the inspiration behind this show? This thing was doomed from the beginning. Number 4. Think Like a Cat. I debated whether to include this show and its cat testants because it's not even a series, it was a one-time special sponsored by Meow Mix. Basically a glorified infomercial. It also, and this is insane, offered $1 million cash prize in its bonus round. The winning contestant and his cat partner didn't even come close to winning it, for the record. Game Show Garbage made it their first video induction in 2013, and although I've never seen the full special myself, enough people did in 2008 that it was universally panned. The New York Times even went so far as to call it a significant step towards the collapse of civilized society, while About.com's review said that the only positives were the fact that it was only 30 minutes long, and that they got Chuck Woolery to host it. Technically speaking, unless you count that Fox Nation special that aired just a few months before his passing, this is the last game show Chuck ever hosted. So it's a shame he went out with such a whimper. Well, not on this list at least. You probably know that there will be more on Chuck later, of course. Number 3. Without Prejudice. Thanks to Ultimate23 Dragon for suggesting this one, because I had no memory of this. But also, I kind of wish that were still the case, because after looking into it, this is one of those shows that was just asking for controversy. In simplest terms, a panel has to decide which member of a group of 5 contestants is most deserving of winning a $25,000 prize despite knowing virtually nothing about any of them. So yes, the title of the show speaks for itself. Unsurprisingly, it led to some contentious moments, most notoriously this one, which is quite possibly the most blatant display of racism I've ever seen on television. Or at all for that matter.
Looks like he's native Texas, and being from Texas, I would have to support that. But I don't like him on the fact that he's black. Absolutely not.
David?
Please. And I knew this was going to come. I don't like him because he's black.
Are you even serious right now?
You know, I'm a minority, but I got a problem with
I was
people.
gonna say.
Please.
Hold on. You're like a minority yourself.
Absolutely.
We rode in yesterday together, so I'm to assume, based on what you just said, that you don't like me because I'm black?
I'm talking in a general sense here, but the fact is...
General sense, how much more general than you can be? Then you're sitting in a car with somebody, you're riding in it, you said it, you opened it up.
Yeah, it doesn't get much more blatant than that. The fact that this even made it to GSN's airwaves is insane.
You know what? No, I won't.
That is so and ill-informed and so stupid, even if you didn't believe it. Do you think I'm going to stand up here and say I'm not going to give some money to somebody because they're white? I mean, you know, some things are better left unsaid.
And finally, number 2, Chuck Woolery Naturally Stoned, and number 1, Carnie Wilson Unstapled. These two are basically a tie. Or maybe Chuck's show is 1B because it almost killed his relationship with the network, and Carnie's show is 1A because it did kill her relationship with the network. But it's really just eerie how similar these two shows are. They basically share a title when you think about it, GSN host : reference to said host. The two even have the same initials. I've already got videos on my channel recapping both shows, so I won't be too repetitive here. I will say though, given how Chuck is a game show legend and Lingo was a popular show for the network, I think the idea of a show like Naturally Stoned could have worked. But they decided to focus way too much on Chuck's personal life, mainly his marriage struggles. With Carnie, the whole show was a bad idea from the start. And while Chuck kept hosting Lingo for a few years and even came back to host Think Like a Cat for the network, Carnie was out in the newlywed game pretty much as soon as Unstapled wrapped. So there you have it. 10 of the absolute worst of the worst all-time failures in GSN history. Let me know if you agree, disagree, think I missed any, or think I included ones that shouldn't be on here. Like I said, I'm partial to family traits, so I get it if any of these were among your guilty pleasures. Let me know in the comments. Until next time, I'm Ben Schneider. Thanks for watching.